are live.
Hey Andy,
How's it
how's
going, guys? Jack, it's going well. It's going well, man. How are you?
doing pretty well. Pumped to share the field and get it out to the public.
Yeah, let's kick this thing off. We're live here, SB Live Oregon, your home for high school sports news and information in the state of Oregon and across the country. Live here to break down newly released and unveiled 2022 Capital City Classic basketball tournament field. I'm Andy Bueller. Really excited to be joined by Assistant Tournament Director Jack Roche. Jack, this is the 7th year of the Capital City Classic. It takes place December 16th through 21st in Salem. It's back for another year, and look, it's you guys have been saying you feel that this might be the best year of this tournament in 7 years. Just real quick off the top before we jump into the teams, what stands out about this year and what makes you so excited?
We're excited both at the combination of the teams that we have, coming in from out of state, the strength of our Oregon teams and sort of the depth. We think we have a great combination of, top, some real powers coming in from out of state, but also, a lot, 13 of the best Oregon teams around.
Absolutely, yeah, and head to scorebooklive.com/Oregon to see that entire field. I'm just going to read it off here, and then we can kind of jump in and break down as we go. Please, too, if you're tuning in, submit questions. We'll answer questions here in real time, so fire away, because this is going to be an exciting one. So on the boys' side, we've got Wes Lynn, we've got John Paul II from Texas, the defending 6A private school state champions there. St. John Bosco, you might know them for their football team, national powerhouse, but this basketball team is no slouch either. And then we've got Modesto Christian from Northern California, a powerhouse up there. And then Wilsonville, Beaverton, Gresham, Sherwood, Canby, West Lynn, Silverton, Sprague, South Salem, Central, and Cascade on the boys' side. Now, when I look at this Oregon field, Jack, I see that most teams were in the playoffs last year, if not have been playoff mainstays going back in recent memory. But let's focus on those four kind of featured teams that I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about, starting with the in-state guys, West Lynn. Now, we know West Lynn's a powerhouse. Everybody's heard the name Jackson Shelstad, but in the offseason here, West Lynn might have, cemented itself as the preseason favorite with a couple of key additions. What stands out about these Lions and what makes them so powerful here coming into the year?
Well, Jackson Shelstad's, very, very special. One of the premier guys to come out of Oregon in, the past decade. He's, top 50 guy nationally. They lost Coach Vukla, who's an amazing coach, but, they got an incredible coach in Coach Robert Key. He won a state title with Grant back in 2018. With him came Adrian Mosley, and he, considered maybe the number 2 senior in the state. He averaged 22, 5, and 5 last year at Grant and was the PIL Player of the Year, which is one of the top leagues in Oregon. So that backcourt is pretty lethal.
Yeah, and then obviously, West Lynn may be the headliner in a strong crop of Oregon teams, but those 3 out-of-state teams, I think, a lot of people are going to be really excited about to see in person at Willamette University in December. Let's kick it off with St. John Bosco. Like I said, everybody knows about their powerhouse football team, the preseason number 1 team in the SB Live Sports Illustrated Power 25 national rankings. Of course, that basketball team's no slouch too. What stands out about St. John Bosco as in Bellflower, California?
Yeah, St. John Bosco's, they're going to be incredible. They're sort of headliner guy that's, a can't miss guy. He's the highest ranked guy on the field this year. Elzie Harrington, he's a 6'6" point guard. He's a sophomore, consensus 5-star, has been ranked as, as high as number 4 in the nation in his class. Just a really, really special talent. But, Harrington is obviously very special. But beyond him, they have Cade Bonham, who will probably be a Power 5 player. Jack Turner, who recently committed to Chicago. They just have Joyce. another 6'7" sophomore. This is a type of team that will probably be bringing, D1 guys off the bench. So, very loaded, very, very special sophomore class there.
Yeah, and I think I saw Jack Turner had just actually committed to Loyola Chicago here within the last day or so. So, exciting. Obviously,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Jack Turner actually played Luke Turner. He played at Rancho Christian with Evan Mobley back in the CCC back in 2019. So cool to have both of them in.
No kidding. Yeah, I want to talk about some of the great moments from years past, but let's get through these 4 featured teams here first. I know John Paul II, a defending private school, they call it in Texas, TAPS 6A state champion from last year. They lose a couple players to transfer in the offseason, but the cupboard is certainly not bare. What should people know about John Paul II?
Definitely. They're 31-7 last year. They lost the top 10 guy in the country to a prep school, but the cupboard's definitely, like you said, it's definitely not bare. Bryson McLaughlin, he's a 6'7" wing. Junior has several offers. They have a sophomore, 6'4" Austin Centers. He's only a sophomore, but they think he has a chance to be a real special player. They're a very, very good team. Several D1 guys. They should put on a show.
No question. When you look at the boys' side, there's 3 great teams coming in from out of state to Salem here in December. They're going to have to face somewhat of a murderer's row of in-state Oregon teams. We talked about West Linn, but beyond that, what are a couple teams that could really make some noise, not only in the season here in 2022-2023, but early on in the Capital City Classic?
Yeah, I think we have to start local there. West Salem, they won the event last year. They're the only team from Oregon ever to win. They've got 2 really good juniors, 2 juniors that probably are among the best in their class in Oregon. 6'8" Trenton Ferguson and 6'3" Connor Ortel. And then they have a great, sort of a pieces that really fit well around those guys as well. And Jackson Leach, Tommy Slack. Another team that's going to be very good is Beaverton. They were they beat Cambridge from Tennessee, who has Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller now he's his freshman year in Alabama. NBADraft.net had him as the number 3 projected pick in this upcoming draft. So they beat him, held him to 15 points. They have 3 really good returning guards in Cousins, Aiden, and Brady Rice, and then Max Elmgren. And then they added Jalen Childs, who led the Metro in scoring last year at Sunset. And then they added 6'10" Chase Winter, who led 6A in blocks last year at Glencoe. So that's, they fit together real well. They're coached real well. They sort of been there before. Beaverton is, I think, projected to be the preseason 6A number 2 behind West Linn. So they should be fun to watch.
Yeah, keep hearing about those Beaverton Beavers. It helps when you bring a couple of strong guys back, as they do from last year's team. But then, adding some size, adding some playmaking never hurts. Yeah,
definitely. They're going to be a tough out for whoever they play.
So I want to jump real quick onto the girls' side. So last year was the debut of this girls' field. Just was a boys' tournament at the start. You added a completely new dynamic last year with the girls' field, and that field has expanded this year. It'll take place December 19th through the 21st at Corbin University. I'll just read off the girls' teams real quick. Central, Newburgh, you have West Salem, South Salem, Silverton, some of the locals, Putnam, Oregon City, Willamette. When you look at this girls' field, which among those teams stands out? And more so, I guess, first off, what about this expanded field, and what about last year's event allowed you guys to expand on this side?
Well, we're really excited to expand. I think Title IX matters to us. It's important. We want to invest in women's sports just as much as we invest in men. And we're excited to be expanding to 8. When we first started the Capital City Classic 7 years ago, it took us sort of a couple years to find our footing and really expand out to 16. And And now that, we have the girls side, we're hoping to, expand it, if not next year, or if not, we're hoping to keep growing it, to grow it into a national event just as much as our guys side is, as big and bold as our guys side is.
Yeah, December 16th through the 21st. I'm Andy Bueller with SB Live Oregon, here with Jack Roche, Assistant Tournament Director for the Capital City Classic. We said this at the top, but this is an event that's hosted some pretty big names in the past. You look at 2019 and Evan Mobley with Rancho Christian, then the #1 player in the country, now on the Cleveland Cavs. You look at Centennial, I think that was 2015 with Troy Brown Jr., who was a McDonald's All-American and is playing professionally now. But this year, you say and talked about at the top how this might be the best field top to bottom. But going back in years past, is there maybe one moment or something you can pull on and remember from years past that really makes this event so special?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I think one, what's made the CCC so special is the community buy-in. I think teams are, proud to be a part of it. I think it's something that they can sort of hang their hat on. It's something that they can, and when you win in it, it's not an easy tournament. It's sort of designed almost like a state tournament in a sense, as a prep for state tournament. Just in that, you're going to have 4 tough games. It's not going to be easy to necessarily, get wins in it, but it's going to make you better in the long run.
No question. We got a question coming in from the Wilsonville Hoops account. Appreciate you guys submitting a question. Excited to see them in the field. It says, who is the best player on Modesto, and are they the favorite? I think, you touched on Modesto, but is there a player that maybe stands above the rest, and is it fair to say that coming in, those guys are the favorites?
Jamari Phillips is a very special player. California Sophomore of the Year last year, top 20 player nationally, like composite 5-star. They made it to the California State Championship Open Division game last year, which is California's highest level. They returned for their 5-star. I think they graduate 2 or 3 guys in total. So they're a loaded team. They're like St. John Bosco. They have guys that, they probably have 7 to 9 D1 guys, and, a few of those guys will come off the bench. They have, alongside Jamari, they have an amazing backcourt partner in senior BJ Davis. He's ranked about the 130th senior in the country. He's committed to San Diego State, which has, been a basketball power in recent years. Prince Osai is another guy they have. He's a 6'10 senior. Offers galore. And yeah, they're loaded. I think it's fair to say that they're the favorite, just given how loaded they are.
No question. So I want to keep diving in. We got a couple of great questions coming in. Keep submitting those, guys. One comes from, I believe, the Cascade Boys program. Says, that's why we're there. We can't wait to play some incredible talent. I'm sure you're hearing a lot of that from in-state teams as you're, excited to announce this nationally competitive field. Another question from Wildman22371 says, who besides West Salem is the best team from Salem this year?
That's a tricky question. There's quite a few good teams from Salem that, we're really excited to have involved. I might just mention several that sort of come to my mind right away. Silverton was in the 5A state championship game last year. They graduated a lot of production, but they do have a new great coach in Coach Allen. He led South to, I think, 3 semifinal appearances at the 6A level in his 8 years there. Cascade's the defending 4A state champs. And they played a smaller classification, but they have plenty of guys that can play. Sprague took second in the Mountain Valley Conference last year, only behind Summit, who ended up being the 6A runner-up. It's the Salem. We're very, very excited about the Salem teams we have. Or just the Mid-Willamette Valley. There's, we feel like we have, several of the best top programs around.
You got to rep the local teams. You got to rep the state teams. Like we said at the top, 9 of 10 of these boys teams were in the playoffs last year. 2 state champions, 4A and the 5A level. We got another question from Max Hoops 3 asks, what do out-of-state teams get to do in Salem while they're in Oregon? I love that question.
Yeah, so we try to roll out the red carpet for our out-of-state teams. You know, we definitely roll out the red carpet. We help them see, you know, University of Oregon, Oregon State. You know, the Nike World Headquarters is something very cool that you know, we try to organize for our out-of-state teams. You know, that's very you know, that's a you know, you get people from, you know, that haven't been to it, and it just blows you away. Yeah, we try to roll out the red carpet. We try to make as much happen as we can. Yeah.
Right. Like I said, it says a lot that, you know, not only does Oregon boast, you know, high level basketball in the state, but that out of state teams want to come to Oregon. What a great way to showcase this state and its hoop scene. So, Jack, where can folks buy tickets? Is there an opportunity to get ahead on that right now?
Yeah, so capitalcityclassic.com. It's capital with an O, CAPITOL. Yeah, so capitalcityclassic.com. That's where you can get them. Yeah, and we'll be selling at the gate too, obviously, this year.
Yeah, might want to get ahead based on this field. It sounds like probably wouldn't hurt. So, well, really appreciate you taking the time to join, Jack. I'm looking forward to this tournament. A bracket reveal is coming in the next few weeks, so stay tuned. Read the full field breakdown, and you're home for high school sports coverage, news and information in the state of Oregon and across the country. It's SB Live Oregon, scorebooklive.com/Oregon. Going to start rolling out preseason basketball coverage statewide here in the next month. I know we're in the heart of football season, but basketball always sneaks up on us. So appreciate you taking the time. This has been fun.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You know, we're very appreciative to do this with Scorebook Live. It's an honor. You guys do great work, and we're excited.
Right on. Lots to look forward to. So appreciate it, Jack. This has been fun.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, you too. Thanks, everyone, for joining in.